guys, what's up? Welcome back to Zero Chess. Today I'm going over a game I played this week, and I just wanted to go over some points on it because I thought there's a lot of learning opportunities here. So this is a Sicilian tournament I was in. I don't play Sicilian as white very much. I always play D4 if you know me at all, but I always play Sicilian as black. So this is interesting for me. I still wanted to play this. Kind of get a grip of it. We went through the normal Sicilian stuff, and we get into a position sort of like this. Normal Sicilian stuff you see. Went ahead and kicked his queen back, and this is a good starting point for me here. Going ahead and pushing past, allowing this place for the knight or bishop to go, but at the same time attacking his center, or even blocking his bishop in. He went ahead and brought in the knight, so I brought back the bishop, not ready to trade that off, and obviously not wanting him to take and be able to fork my pieces. He took, I took. Now him taking here, not the best move. This tension right here is good for both of us. If I were to take him, then it could help him develop either with his queen if this isn't here, or bring the knight back and attacking. And him attacking here helps me develop. I can either develop my bishop or develop my rook, and I'm essentially getting a development for no time wasted on my turn because he just captured us all. So if I took with the rook here, it would have been fine, I suppose. I got two pieces attacking this knight, but something like this coming about and him attacking me, I just wasn't comfortable with it. Bishop seemed to be the best play, and then he can't move his pawn at the moment either because I'm 9 down on his queen. Bishop has a little bit more mobility in this scenario because he can kind of duck off to the side if something attacks him. Rook can't really go laterally here, whereas the bishop has a lot of wiggle room. So that's why I took with that. Knight comes out, went ahead and jumped in here. A nice little fork on the queen and the bishop. My whole goal here was to take out his dark square bishop. As black, the dark square bishop is often strong for him, and since I've moved my f-pawn, my king is open to a dark square bishop attack. Queen attack, something like that. And I really didn't want to have to deal with that going forward, so I really wanted to trade off anything for this dark square bishop here. Plus, if I could take out both his bishops, then I might have the bishop pair in the endgame, and that would be favorable for me. It's not what happened, but that was my thought process. So he goes and moves the queen, and then first I moved my queen out here, kind of getting my queen into the game, wanting to get lined up on the h-file, and kind of attacking this piece in general, and then also protecting against a move or a threat like this, just in general, kind of a move. So he comes in with the knight, attacking my queen, attacking my bishop, and I don't really want to take here, because if I say take here, then again I'm helping him get into a good position. He can take the knight, and he's still forking with his stuff, and I've got nothing to attack him with. And he's got a nice central square with an outpost here. And then if he took with a pawn, whoops, that's what I played. If he took with a pawn, then he could come in, block this. He's got a nice strong center. I have an isolated king's pawn, which I would not be happy about at all. So I just didn't want to do that either. I guess at the moment I already have an isolated king's pawn, but it's okay because he has an isolated queen's pawn. So that weakness kind of balances out there, I think. So I was more comfortable with just letting this go at the moment. If he trades off my light square bishop, it's not the end of the world. Right now, my light square bishop isn't doing anything except protecting this pawn. He's not like he's attacking or anything. And later in the game, he might be able to come to the h7, something like that. But at the moment, he's not doing anything. So him trading off an active knight on an outpost for an inactive bishop is kind of helpful for me. So I move here with the queen, getting out of his line of sight, still keeping pressure on this knight, and keeping pressure on the king side. He comes back, probably thinking to come down here with his bishop. And then I went ahead and took the bishop like I was planning originally. I probably could have done it sooner. This is a good time to do it as any. So went ahead and took the bishop. He can't come here anymore. I've got a check on him, so he has to take this knight, which he would have anyway. So he took the knight, and then I went ahead and came in with the knight. Now coming in with the knight, kind of just getting my knight active into the game, hoping to possibly come here later on and do some attacks, maybe even sooner than later, trying to trade off his bishop if it becomes active in the game. Right now, it's not doing a whole lot, but thinking of possibly trading off bishops, and then being able to take this knight. The rook's got a nice file within a that I could do. So a lot of opportunities here. He wouldn't take the light square bishop, and now I have a strong center versus an isolated queen's pawn. Very good for me in the middle game right now, and it's going to be good for me in the end game. Came out with a bishop. Now this bishop is activated, and it's doing quite well versus where it was doing right here. Right here it was blocking in the rooks. Now the rooks have mobility; they can take this open C file, and he has twice the number of squares. So came over here and attacked the queen. At this point, if he trades off bishop for knight, I'm happy. He's got a very active bishop, and I would be thrilled with this. That's actually what he did. And then I've got I have an isolated queen's pawn as well. IQP versus IQP. He jumps back because his knight's under attack now. And then rook e1. I'm down the queen, taking the open file because the queen has to move, and pretty much just telling him that this is mine. Now I went here. I could have also taken this spot right here, but after something like say knight h5, it could get a little dicey. Kicking my queen away, and to keep protecting this bishop, I'd need to come here, and then the rook comes in, and he's just pushing me around. It's going to get really irritating really fast, and I didn't want to have to calculate so far ahead to see if I would actually keep my bishop or not. It didn't seem like a lot of fun, didn't seem like a good move, so I went ahead and came here. Obviously the queen's blocking this pawn from taking my bishop, and I'm threatening checkmate, so he has to do something. He could come here with a knight or something, but he had to do something. He went and played g6, which I don't think was the right move. Probably should have played knight e8, because now I can take his bishop, or I'm saying I can take his rook with my bishop and have a nice advantage on the exchange. So I was going to go ahead and take that. I was in no rush though, because I could play something else first of all that would help me improve my position. Go ahead and think about what that is. Okay, the move was pawn takes g6. Now, f takes g6 is a nice move because I'm still got this rook. I can take it any minute. And if he chooses to, let's say, get the rook out of dodge, then we've got this fun move like right here, check. And this is really difficult for him to defend. It's a double check, so you can't just take the pawn. You can't just block the queen. He can't move here, and once he moves here, it's checkmate. So he can't move the knight. It's impossible, so he has to take it. So once he takes that, I go ahead and take the knight, the rook. I'm messing up with my words tonight, I'm tired. So he goes ahead and takes back, and I go ahead and push forward with my pawn. Kind of blocking a attack here from the queen at the moment, not really wanting him to get in. It's on the diagonal, and at this point, I think I was just trying to get the pawn down the board. So he meets me in the middle, come up, attacking the knight on two fronts and attacking the pawn. Comes in, and he's got a nice outpost here. I'm not gonna lie, this bothered me having this outpost here. And at the moment, I really wanted to. I was considering trading the rook for the knight, just because of the outpost factor. But I decided against it because I really didn't want to go a queen and a rook versus a queen and a rook. I felt like this is a really good advantage for me, because inevitably after we did that, the queen would probably take on d4. He'd be up a pawn, and with equal material, I wouldn't be too happy about that. So instead of getting my queen out of the way first, I went ahead and took on f8, trying to get that rook off the board. I'm ahead in material, so go ahead and trade it off pieces so we have a favorable endgame. He goes ahead and takes back, and then I come in here with check. So he moves out. I was hoping, maybe he would move here or something, and I'd be able to take on h7. Didn't happen, which is fine. So I come here to f1 and attacking this square right here. I'm threatening checkmate at the moment, so he has to do something. He goes there. Come in with check. I'm kind of pushing him around the board. At this point, I went check again, kind of trying to make something happen. And here was an interesting place. Went ahead and went f7 check. And once he moves here, I had a couple options. I played Queen F1, and playing Queen F1, there wasn't a lot I could do here. I thought I can't just come here because I'm sure I'm doing that, but after he couldn't take because I would take back obviously. But coming here after he took the rook, then I couldn't take back because he would take it and just be up a knight and he would win the game. So couldn't do that. I decided. So I played Queen F1, thinking it was the best move. A better move might have been Queen takes on D6. After analyzing this, then knight takes on d6, and either rook takes h7, I'm up a pawn, and I've got really good passed pawns going that are going to happen, or I could even play rook f6. Pinning the knight to the king, king has to start protecting this, and I bring out my king, and it's a wrap. So either one of those would have been better than what I did. I played Queen F1. He goes ahead and plays Queen B4. He's attacking this weak pawn here, and I could have done a few things again. Could have played B3, protecting this pawn, but I found a better move. See if you can think of it. I think I accidentally just gave you the answer. Correct move was Queen D3. And the reason Queen D3 is the correct move is because I am trying to entice him to take this pawn for free. I mean, coming here in general is a decent move. Just developing my piece, trying to get around. But really, this is kind of a trap. So he would take this B2 pawn, and once he took that, then I was free to play Queen B3. Now, Queen B3 is a good move because it forces him to the exchange because I'm forking his queen and king. So he has to take me now. Now he is up a pawn because of that exchange, but we're left with an endgame with no queens on the board, with a rook versus a knight. And I am going to have a really good time with this. Not an easy time. It's not going to be an easy endgame, but it's going to be a good endgame for me, a favorable endgame, definitely. We're already in the endgame, so I'm going ahead and he went ahead and played h5, just trying to come down the board, trying to start his endgame stuff. And I went rook g7, attacking the pawn. He comes up, and then I'm bringing my king into the game now. Endgame, gotta bring your king into the game. He went and forked me, and then took the pawn. I took a pawn. He takes a pawn. I attack the knight, and then take a pawn. And he's still up a pawn for all of this. But again, I've got an overwhelming advantage. We both have two passed pawns on either side, and he has a pawn in the middle, a very strong pawn in the middle, and a knight versus my rook. And bringing out a win from this is not the easiest, I wouldn't say, but it's if you play your cards right, it's unavoidable for black. So at this point, he went ahead and started passing, and I came up here to attack his other pawn. He jumps down, come back down, attack the knight. He jumps up, I attack the knight, he jumps out, and then I start moving my pawns forward. So we're on the same page here, trying to push our pawns. Come to h5, only got 3 squares to go. He's got 4 squares to go. It's looking good for me. He comes down, and I'm going to go ahead and push it again. And he comes here, which is an interesting move. I went ahead and went rook f6, attacking the knight. And he really needs to keep this knight, so he went knight g5. I went ahead and went rook g6, trying to push this knight around. He goes knight f7, and at this point, it was I could have fallen trapped to this pretty easily. If I go ahead and move my pawn or something, he could fork me here. And then after I move, he takes a rook. He's defending h8, and I'm going to lose this game 100% of the time. So first I had to move king c2. So once I move king c2, I'm out of this danger of the fork, and we're ready to rumble. I did give him time to play a4, but that's okay. Went ahead here, attacked the knight again. He jumps back, and once I get him to a position I'm happy with, I go ahead and bring up my g-pawn. Since I have 2 pawns over here, if I just had one, we could do this dance all day. But my other pawn's going to come up, and he's not going to be able to keep defending that. So he comes down with that. I come up. He checks me, which I kind of saw coming. I come to b2, and his main move here was king b4. He's going to push this, get a king or get a queen, and the main reason that this works is because I can go knight or rook f4. Now, he can't go anywhere. He can't block. He has to come back to a square. He went to b5, and he can't push this anymore. He can't push this. The king can never get on this open file until I move my rook, and these pawns are going to overwhelm him. So I went ahead g6, and there's nothing he can do. He went ahead and resigned. I think this is very, very informative because on the end game of rook versus a knight and kind of how to bring about your win instead of just going for a draw, or instead of you get mowed down because the knight jumps everywhere and gets you, or you're trying to push them around and then they end up getting a pawn to be a queen. So if you have time, look at this through again and kind of see the different patterns on it. Obviously, it's not going to be the same every game, but you can use the same principles in playing with your games. So I hope you guys learned something. Drop me a comment if you have any questions. I'd be thrilled to answer them. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks.